The Puck Portfolio with Andy MacNeil.
Hey, welcome to the Puck Portfolio. Mariska Haggerty. I'm Andy MacNeil. I'm your host. I'm here on weekdays to provide NHL projections, betting advice, and of course picks to help you make informed bets throughout the NHL season. I'm with my man Jake here. You don't see him, but you'll hear him. How you doing, Jake?
I'm doing good. Mariska Hargitay to you as well. Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, Olivia Benson's shirt. Feeling good today because watched some SVU last night, and just got inspired. Right, Mariska Haggerty inspires me each and every day to be a better person, and I hope she inspires you all as well. We are going to get into things right away here because I'm going to add a bet on the Colorado Avalanche. Let's not mess around here. I think there are some great numbers out there, so we'll talk about this again as the show goes on, because I'm sure not everybody will be tuned in at this time. But NorthStar Bets currently minus 120. Of course, our great sponsor over at NorthStar Bets, good old Canadian sportsbook. You can check them out via the link in the description below. I know we've got a lot of listeners in the U.S. And I believe you can find similar odds at Bet Rivers. So check them out if you're in the U.S. and not able to check out NorthStar Bets. So there is a revenge spot here for the Colorado Avalanche after losing to Jake's Montreal Canadiens last night. Did you see that one coming, Jake? I don't think you did.
I didn't really see it coming. Like I said, the emotions maybe were a little bit higher with Jonathan Drouin, but you got to give it to Jake Allen. He turned in a good performance, or at least a good enough performance. It was a really great game, down to the wire, back and forth, and the Habs pulled it out.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. And I think you could argue that the Ottawa Senators are worse than the Montreal Canadiens, and they're getting likely Justice Anna Noonan. I probably butchered that, but they're getting a third stringer tonight, second stringer at best, but not really even an NHL backup. But Mad Sogard expected to make his first start of the season for the Ottawa Senators. Terrible spot to be throwing a guy in with a sub 900 save percentage, career save percentage in against a pissed off Colorado Avalanche team. Nathan McKinnon's always pissed off. He'll be probably extra pissed off tonight after losing that game on Monday. The Ottawa Senators, only the San Jose Sharks have allowed more goals than the Senators per 60 minutes over the last month. The Avalanche, they're 6-0-1 versus the Senators since 2019-20. They've owned this matchup, and they're still a top 10 team in expected goals and goal share. So I am going to add a bet on the Colorado Avalanche at minus 120 or better. A little bit of a change in the projection there because yesterday when the show started, I did not know whether it would be Georgiev or one of the other options in goal against Montreal or tonight, Tuesday, against the Ottawa Senators. But Alexander Georgiev, I know he's an all-star, but if you know anything about hockey, then you know that's a pretty controversial pick. He's gotten there based on basically the wins stat, which is a team stat, not a goaltending stat. Through the lens of goaltending stats, he's not very good. I shouldn't say that. He's an average NHL goaltender at best, and I don't think it's a huge drop off. Regardless here for the Avalanche, you can get the Colorado Avalanche as low as minus 112 currently. I think people have been overrating the Ottawa Senators for a while here. Sharp bettors, in fact, I think have been overrating the Ottawa Senators for a while here. So the market doesn't really scare me off here like it maybe would in other games where I would think like, okay, maybe I've got this one wrong. And maybe I do, but I think the Colorado Avalanche win this one. What do I have there, Jake? You've got my projections up on the screen. Sorry, I'm all over the place. 57.3% of the time, minus 134. So I think there's value at the minus 120 price point. I'll lock that in at minus 120. But of course, you guys shop around, get yourselves the best price, give yourselves the best chance of obtaining a profit. But minus 120 at NorthStar Bets, fading this overnight steam on the Ottawa Senators. to win 1 unit. Of course, we've already got a bet on the Anaheim Ducks from yesterday. Objectively, a bad bet because if we had just waited around until today, we could have gotten a better price because now the Anaheim Ducks plus 160 at NorthStar Bets. I put a unit on the Anaheim Ducks at plus 155 yesterday. So anytime it moves against you, that is a bad sign. And not I shouldn't say it's a bad sign. It's a bad sign of your of whether or not you're doing a good job reading the market. And I didn't do a good job reading the market on Monday for this one during our live stream. I should have just held off, knowing that Lucas Dostal was going to be in the goal for the Anaheim Ducks on Tuesday because John Gibson was starting on Monday, and that the market might react to that in a different way than I would. But anyways, the Ducks. I mean, I know some of you, Pete, had the OT call plus 450 during our live stream yesterday, and that hit. The Ducks ended up beating the Panthers in overtime. So congrats to Pete. Great call. Absolutely great call. Connor in the chat. This is the same market, the betting market, that thought a new coach was going to turn the Sens into a good team. Yeah, great point, Connor. Rye Cape in the chat finally caught it live. Really supportive. I'm guessing Cape is watching every other day, but he's finally in the chat. How's it going? It's going great because we're here talking hockey. Thanks for joining the chat, Cape. I've got to understand the name Rye Cape, though. You've got to give me a little background here because I've been curious. But anyways, good morning, Will. Thanks for joining the chat. Yeah, in addition to, like I said, an objectively bad half unit bet on the Anaheim Ducks, I still think the Ducks are a good bet at the current price. But I mean, I didn't do a good job reading the market. But you're not going to get any apologies from me. I mean, goddamn, I saw somebody on Twitter, someone I follow, a hockey writer actually that does some betting picks. He's apologized for the same pick that lost, one of his football picks that lost 3 times, I think, on Maine. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? Have some self-respect. What are you apologizing to people for? They know what the deal is when they bet on sports. Sometimes it loses. And last night, God, the New York Islanders, how much more useless can you get? The Minnesota Wild put up 5 goals on Ilya Sorokin and Ken Appleby. And you know what? I'm going to say it. I think in a game where the other team scores 5 goals on the Islanders, you bet over 6, you should probably win that bet. But unfortunately, the Islanders are just absolutely useless. They could not even score a goal and get us the push. Great performance by Marc-Andre Fleury. Jared Spurgeon placed on long-term injured reserve by the Minnesota Wild. A little bit of news there. But yeah, so I was really disappointed. Happy the Wild won. Lost a tiny bit of money, less than 1/10 of a unit because both were half unit plays. But I guess should have went a little bit bigger on the Wild because the Islanders are just so dreadful right now. Seattle, they were shut out 3-0 last night by the Pittsburgh Penguins, ending their franchise best 9-game winning streak. They're going to turn to Chris Drieger between the pipes for his second start of the season. It'll just be his second NHL start in nearly 2 years. He was out for a long time. He showed no signs of rust, though, in his first start back on December 27th. 2-1 victory over the Calgary Flames. He stopped 37 of 38 shots. That's a .974 save percentage. So they're up against the Rangers here today. Igor Shesterkin will be in goal for the New York Rangers. Seattle, there's been a big move here, and I lied when I said that Colorado was going to be my only bet that I was going to add to my betting card today because I'm going to put a half a unit on the Seattle Kraken. Let's see here. What do we got? Plus 180, but you can get plus 194 out there at some sports books. Let me see. Is this available? Yeah, there's a plus 190 available to me. I think the Kraken are a decent bet at plus 180, but we can get plus 190, and I cannot pass that up. So yeah, you know what? I'm gonna lock in half unit bet on the Seattle Kraken. Not sure if Matty Beniers is going to be in the lineup. I've got him ruled out. Same with Andre Burakovsky. Um, but we're gonna go with the Seattle Kraken half unit play at plus 190. Oh, that plus 190 is already gone. God damn it. Things move so fast here. But yeah, let me see now. Plus 185, I guess, is our best widely available price here. Plus 194 only available at one sports book. So let's take the plus 185 half unit play on the Seattle Kraken to beat the Rangers and Igor Shesterkin. The Rangers have struggled lately. They've lost 4 of their last 5. And yeah, I mean, they're in through the lens of some defensive metrics like rush chances against. The Rangers grade out really poorly. They're not doing a good job right now in that respect. Um, Obviously, wish we had more data on that to play with, but New York, I mean, they have not looked good for a while. And this Kraken team, while I do think they've been definitely playing above their head because their expected goals percentage was not all that great here, pretty average, and they have been just cruising along. Everything's been coming up. Seattle recently, they've got the second best goal share in the NHL, and if you look at like the top 10 teams, top 8 teams in goal differential, let's say top 10. So we're going from the Jets all the way down to the Penguins. The Kraken were the only team over the last month in those top 10 teams in goal differential that had a negative expected goal differential, 48.8% expected goals percentage. So they stand out as a bit of a fraud if you're going to call them a contender. Fringe playoff team that could maybe cause some trouble as they did last year. Not a Stanley Cup contender though. But in this spot, plus 185, I like it, and I can get behind betting against the Rangers, who have the 13th best goal share in the NHL in all situations over the last month. So yeah, I mean, they've been allowing a lot more than you would expect. I mean, just around average uh, as far as goals against per 60 goes. And you'd expect better with a team like New York, with a team that has a goaltender like Igor Shesterkin, but they just haven't been giving him enough support. So I'm on the Kraken here, plus 185. Uh, Matt in the chat, uh, he is he doesn't like my bet against the Rangers. He is so much of a homer that he will volunteer. I don't even think they pay him at MSG to go out there and shovel the ice, uh, you know, during whistles. That's how much of a homer he is. Won't bet against his team, even if it's the biggest plus EV edge that he's ever had in his life, because he's a giant square. And you can watch him on Edge Work. I think once or twice a week. So check them out on YouTube if you want to see get some square betting advice from Mr. Albert, who has graced us with his presence in the chat today. Just kidding, Matt. We love you here on the puck portfolio, and we love edge work as well. Sharks plus 125. I mean, yeah, it's Sharks or nothing at this point. It's the battle of the toilet bowl. They get shut out by the Sabres on Monday. We've got you guys are so distracting in the chat. Um, you know, they got shut out by the Sabres on Monday. Mackenzie Blackwood's likely going to be in goal here um, against Chicago, so that's good for San Jose. I mean, yeah, no Connor Bedard, not a whole lot of NHLers in either of these lineups, but based on my model, the Sharks, it's Sharks or nothing. Do I want to bet the Sharks though? I mean, it is, it is plus money. It's the second half of a back to back. Am I doing things right here? FanDuel down at plus 114. NorthStar Bets at plus 112, plus 127, plus 123, plus 131 at Penny. Um, Definitely. I think I'm gonna hold off on this one. See how much people want to puff out their chest and bet on the Blackhawks in a game that they could very well lose. And maybe I'll jump on the San Jose Sharks a little bit later. We're actually going to be doing a second show today, not a live show, but what's the plan? We're going to upload that on YouTube later, like probably this evening. Jake.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be coming out tonight.
Okay.
Our first guest spot for the puck portfolio, so that'll be exciting.
Yeah, we're gonna have Nick Martin on. We're gonna chat about probably look ahead to Wednesday a little bit, although it is a trash slate. I'm not even gonna talk about Wednesday's games. I didn't even get a chance to look ahead because I had to fill in for Jeff Follett and write up an Oilers Leafs betting preview for tonight. We'll talk about that game here in a little bit because it is the big matchup of the night. Probably tease it in the title. Can the Maple Leafs stopped the Edmonton Oilers, but I don't think so. Maple Leafs suck. But anyway, yeah, trash slate on Wednesday. Montreal Canadiens at the New Jersey Devils. Sorry, that's a good game. Montreal is awesome, right, Jake? Detroit at Florida, Chicago at Buffalo. So not a really interesting slate, but I think Nick is, he's definitely more of a situational better than I am. So he might have some spots that he likes for later in the week that he's going to, kind of set you guys up for to look at maybe Thursday or even later in the week of something he's looking ahead to. So yeah, check that out a little bit later today. If you have not already, please like the video. Please subscribe to the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel. Kane out next two games. This just came out, or did I just miss this? Yeah, so Mackenzie Blackwood starting for the San Jose Sharks. Peter Mrazek for the Chicago Blackhawks. Um, he's. I was wondering why is he telling me about Patrick Kane? Connor in the chat telling me that Patrick Kane is out for the next 2 days, and next two games. Sorry, and I'm like, oh yeah, I just mentioned that Detroit's playing Florida tomorrow. Yeah, that's big for the Red Wings. Like I said, I was a little bit busier on Tuesday morning than I usually am, so I had to kind of scrap looking ahead to Wednesday's games. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Maybe I'll actually touch on that when we talk to Nick later on today and record that video, which will be posted later on tonight on the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel. But I will quickly recap the bets I've made so far. So I've got a 1 unit play on the Avalanche, minus 120 to win 1 unit to beat the Ottawa Senators. Anaheim Ducks plus 155 from yesterday. That's a half-unit play. Looking for the Ducks to get the upset over the Washington Capitals. Looks like Darcy Kemper will be in goal for the Capitals, by the way. And then finally, the Seattle Kraken plus 185. That's a half-unit play to win almost a unit, 0.93 units. So a couple of dogs, Anaheim and Seattle, and one short favorite, I believe a little bit too short here. The Colorado Avalanche. Pete Martin in the chat saying the Ducks are available at plus 178 at some books. Yeah, shop around. Things kind of move fast on that one. Luckily, I was able to lock a small bet in. Spencer in the chat just ripped Canucks and Jets Cup futures. I don't know if he means he just ripped them up. but yeah, not sure why. Don't do that, Spencer. They're Canada's best hope. Well, maybe they're not. Edmonton is they're looking pretty good. Let's talk about the Edmonton Oilers. Why don't we? I mean, the Maple Leafs, I think, have been better. They've been showing a lot of improvement since the start of December. I think it's a little hard to wonder though, like to determine if it's real or not, because their record is not impressive, and they just haven't been doing it long enough. Edmonton, meanwhile, they've been good all season long. Of course, they were the laughing stock of the league for the first month, but that pretty much ended with the loss to San Jose back on November 9th. Since then, the Oilers, they've won games at a 78% clip, and Stuart Skinner has been virtually unstoppable. He's gone 17-4, posted a 920 save percentage, 2.17 goals against average. And according to evolvinghockey.com, he has saved the Oilers approximately 10 goals above expected during that stretch of 21 games. So Skinner getting the job done for the Oilers. It's more than the Maple Leafs can say. I know, Martin Jones has filled in nicely and helped fill the gap. Um, I would expect him to start here. Let's see if we got a confirmation on that. But Edmonton, I'll steal a line from Timmy on the Line Change podcast that I saw from a clip they put out this morning. Is that Edmonton does a better job at outscoring their problems, right? They're not a great team defensively, although they have been. Both teams have had a really easy schedule, not the easiest, but especially over the last 10 games or so. The Maple Leafs, I think you can stretch all the way back to December 1st. It's been a relatively easy schedule. It's about to get a lot tougher, though, because they've got the second toughest schedule remaining behind the Boston Bruins. So, 83% chance of making the playoffs right now for Toronto. Doesn't seem like anything to worry about. That seems like a safe bet, but things could change pretty quickly here because they're up against the Oilers here. They're going to play Calgary, Seattle, and Vancouver on the road to end this road trip that they're starting out on today. 4 games. In total, they're going to play 6 games in 9 nights by the time they get home again next week. So if they don't find success here on the road, they could find themselves in a pretty precarious position. I think, yeah, okay. Now Spencer clarifying in the chat that he placed some Canucks and Jets Cup futures, not rip them up. Why would you do that, right? So, good job, Spencer. Both teams, better odds according to our model at CanadaSportsBetting.ca than what you're getting on those tickets. So some plus EV there, but yeah, back to Toronto and Edmonton. It's just a matter of both of these teams have are great on offense. The Maple Leafs have actually been slightly better than the Oilers on a per 60 minutes, but it's a tiny difference. Whereas the Oilers have been a lot better defensively. Don't really love the lineup change for the Oilers tonight. Not really, I shouldn't say a lineup change, but the line change as Evander Kane. He made some. Took a shot, I guess, at the Oilers coaching staff and the lack of opportunities he's been getting, and they rewarded him by putting him on the second line. Now, I don't really like that because I loved how Edmonton's second line had been performing, and Ryan McLeod loses his spot at least temporarily on that second line. McLeod had 5 goals and 4 assists in 9 games in his last 9 games before he missed the Oilers' 10th win there. Of course, they are on a 10-game winning streak. He missed the 10th win due to an illness, but he will be back in the lineup. Just looks like on the third line as Kane has taken his spot. Or no, I mean, Kane has taken a spot on the second line on the wing in the winger position. That had really helped McLeod. It looked like. I mean, he's a center. He is really good defensively, but offense had been, he'd been producing a lot of chances and stuff like that, but had been struggling to actually contribute offensively. They shifted him to the wing. He had been playing with mixing in with Draisaitl and Warren Foegele. I'm going to talk about Foegele a little bit too because I find his play pretty interesting as of late. Foegele and McLeod and Draisaitl, they'd been great and they'd been looking really good. It was really a big part of the Oilers' winning ways here, I think. And I don't know why Kane would be complaining about that. Just make the third line work, man. Make your spot work. Maybe you'll get a little bit more power play time. So hopefully that doesn't cause any negative repercussions for the the Edmonton Oilers tonight against the Maple Leafs. The model thinks they should be around minus 142, which is, I believe, pretty much bang on with what we're seeing here. Yeah, like, I mean, minus 147 at NorthStar Bets looks like the best price at market is minus 143. So if you remove the vigorish from that, the bookmaker's commission, then you're left with basically my model's price. So there's no value betting on either side there, in my opinion. Um, I think you could take a look at the draw here today at, around plus 350, but that's something to consider, given how often the Maple Leafs have gone to overtime 16 times. The Oilers have had trouble putting teams away lately, some bad teams at that. 1 goal games in their last 4 straight, overtime in their last 4 straight, or last 2 straight. And we're talking about teams 1 goal games in their last 3 straight against Chicago, Detroit, and Montreal. They went to overtime in the last 2. So Edmonton, back after a road trip, maybe not on their best game for this one, but I don't think there's value betting on the Leafs regardless. But, from a player prop perspective, I don't do a whole lot of player props, but Warren Fogle does stand out. You can get him as an anytime goal scorer at plus 350 at several books. I think that is a good look. So I'm going to put a small bet, just point 1 units on Warren Fogle anytime goal here in Toronto. He gets a little bit of power play time. He's on the second line, like I said, with now Evander Kane and Leon Draisaitl. But the second unit power play time doesn't really matter because they don't see the ice nearly enough with Connor McDavid on the other unit. So looking at across the board here, yeah, plus 350 still available. At NorthStar Bets. That's roughly one of the better prices in market, as plus 360 is actually the best price in market. So, um, 0.1 units to win, 0.35 units on Warren Fogle anytime goal plus 350. That's a player prop that I like for tonight. But yeah, I mean, I think the Oilers ultimately will be victorious in this one more often than not. But it's going to be a fun one to watch. I mean, anytime these two teams meet up, it's really fun. But you got to worry about the Leafs, I think, this week. They're an underdog versus the Oilers. Clearly, they're going to be an underdog versus Vancouver, or at least they should be. They will probably be somewhat of around a coin flip versus the Calgary Flames and the Seattle Kraken. So you've got a couple of games where you're expected to lose more often than you're expected to win, and a couple of games where you can flip a coin and maybe lose one of them or both of them. So I mean, I would not be surprised if Toronto went 0-4 on the road trip. I wouldn't be surprised if they went 4-0, but that 83% chance of making the playoffs, that roughly 99 to 100 point projection right now that we're currently seeing according to our model, that could change a whole lot if they go 0-4 on this road trip. They come home and then they're back out in Winnipeg to play the Jets. Their schedule, like I said, is getting a lot tougher. I wouldn't be feeling very, very, very optimistic right now if I was a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. I shouldn't say that. You can feel optimistic right now, but I mean, it could change really fast here if they don't find some success on the road. And they haven't been great there this season. So, it's going to be Insight, the Kingdom of Pontus, anytime goal, 6-1 odds. Yeah, I thought about that one as well. Insight, he's playing on the top line with Matthews and Willie Nylander. So definitely a good look there for Pontus Holmberg. But yeah, that's pretty much. I think that's pretty much it for now. 3 bets and a small bet on a player prop. I think you can get some good prices out there currently. So I've got the Avalanche up to minus 120 to win 1 unit. The Ottawa Senators overrated by the betting market, in my opinion. Colorado Avalanche, hopefully extra pissed off after losing to the Montreal Canadiens on Monday. The Anaheim Ducks, you can get them at plus 160 at NorthStar Bets. Half unit play for me at plus 155, unfortunately. So not going to get any closing line value there. unlikely anyways. The Seattle Kraken down to plus 180. I think they are a good half unit play as well. And then in this Toronto Maple Leafs and Edmonton Oilers game, which I think the Oilers will ultimately win, I like Warren Fogle anytime goal plus 350. That's a .1 unit play. I really appreciate you guys all joining the show every day. Love seeing the same names every day. Love seeing new names. Even love seeing Matt Albert's name, if you can believe it or not. Yeah, thanks for joining the show. Please hit that like button if you haven't already. Helps out a ton. Share it on Twitter. That helps out a ton as well. And subscribe to the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel if you're tuning in every day. It's the least you can do. We've been winning you some money. Jake, anything we should touch on, or have I pretty much covered everything?
No, just happy Tuesday all, and if you're watching us now, please tune in tonight for our first guest spot with Nick from the Action Network. It's going to be fun, and we're hoping to make it a more regular feature here on the YouTube channel. So stay tuned for more guests.
Yes. All right. We'll see you a little bit later with that video, and we'll, of course, we'll be back on Wednesday, looking ahead to talking about Wednesday's NHL games, 3-game slate. Big thing of note there, as Connor mentioned in the chat, Patrick Kane will be out for the Red Wings, so something to consider there. But the market is well aware about that right now, so it might be hard to capitalize on it. We'll be back with projections and picks for Wednesday and Thursday on Wednesday's show at 11:30 a.m. Eastern here on the Canada Sports Betting YouTube channel, and wherever you get your podcast. Please check out NorthStar Bets via the link in the description below. Check out CanadaSportsBetting.ca. Like I said, I've got that Maple Leafs preview up there right now, and they're in my hometown taking on the Edmonton Oilers. No, I'm not going to the game. I'll watch it on my TV. I don't want to be in the same building with that many Leafs fans and Oilers fans at the same time. That sounds terrible. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for hanging out.